The global pandemic has left many scrambling just to make ends meet. So today, we invited one of the best financial experts in the world to help give tips on the best ways to manage and save your cash during this COVID crisis. She's a New York Times best-selling author with 11 books, including the latest, Women with Money, The Judgment-Free Guide to Creating the Joyful, Less Stressed, Purposeful, and yes, Rich Life You Deserve. She's also host of her own podcast, Her Money. Let's welcome via Zoom, Jean Chatzky. Hey, Jean, good to have you.
Thank you. Yeah. Nice to be with you.
Awesome. Okay, so let's get right down to it and break it down. What are some of the best ways to cut corners and save money? You say tip number one is to manage money, take stock, and assess.
Right. You need to know where you are, and that means knowing how much money is coming in, how much is going out, where is it going, and how has that changed since before the pandemic. Once you have this information, then it's possible to make changes and manage your situation. But until you have it, you don't know where you are. It doesn't take that much work. Just at the end of each day, write down what came in, what went out, and where did it go.
Great. Next, you say adjust.
Right. So now that you know what you've got, you can take a look and figure out what you really need. We've all made a lot of changes since the pandemic started. We're eating out less. We're cooking more. We're shopping less frequently. We know what services we actually use and value and which ones we don't. And that gives us a very nice roadmap that we can use to trim different expenses. If it doesn't make you happy, if it doesn't light you up with joy, if it doesn't provide some sort of value, it's time to get rid of it.
You know, Jean, here's an interesting thing. Some people don't want to make the adjustment because they don't want others to see them making the adjustment, so they continue to go on like nothing has changed, and that leads to problems.
Absolutely, and I would say that this pandemic has actually given us a gift in that way. Nobody's looking at what you're doing.
That's
right? Your neighbors, they are not looking. You are inside your house with your family. It's time to close ranks and make decisions based on what works for you.
I love that. Then you say, hold on to good old-fashioned habits.
Right. So the things that I mentioned about cooking, about shopping once a week, that means you're actually shopping with a list. Most people can't remember the last time they did that, but it's a great money-saving move. Also, if you have started to walk outside, I mean, you talk about this all the time. That's fabulous, free exercise, and health and finances, when they're both good, go hand in hand.
Wonderful. And you know what? Shopping with a list, also that keeps you in the store for a shorter period of time during COVID, which is also important to avoid possibly getting infected. Number 4, you say don't get emotional.
We are all emotional right now, but where this hurts us particularly is in 2 places. First of all, with our investments. The stock markets have been more volatile during this period of time than we have ever seen them. And that volatility leads us to make very bad decisions. So if you know that you're subject to buying and selling because of the movements in the markets, it's time to stop paying attention to those movements. Just turn off the television, not while you're watching the doctors, but turn off the television at another time, and don't watch the financial news if it's going to lead you astray. Similarly, some people are emotional shoppers. If you know that you sit down in front of the computer at night and you're just pushing buy, time to find yourself another habit.
Oh, I love that. And then you say protect yourself.
Right. In talking about that, I am talking about the documents that we all need to have in place to make sure that our hard-earned money and wealth and other assets get where we need them to go should something happen to us. This is, we can't forget, a health crisis in addition to a financial crisis. So if you haven't taken the time to put together a living will and powers of attorney for healthcare and finance, as well as a regular will, it's time to sit down at that kitchen table and do the work.
Absolutely. Jean, listen, you always, for years and years and years, have given great advice. You continue. Thank you so much for joining us and keeping us financially sound.
Thanks for having me.